Hey friends, so you joined me in the middle of a build, and specifically a build that has given me no end of trouble. This wasn't supposed to be complicated. I'm building a power tool rack to go on the wall behind me, mostly because the one that I have been using is too small. I outgrew it. But I've run into so many problems and so much frustration that I wanted to stop and take a minute and talk about a couple of the things that I've learned and a couple of the things that I wish I had either thought about or known about when I started this build. So that's what we're going to cover today. So the first thing we're going to talk about, the first mistake that I made, was in dealing with mirrored pieces. That is, two pieces in a build that are otherwise identical but face each other. And the mistake that I made was in cutting the dados on those pieces. Now, I have the two halves of my build right here. And these have the dados cut correctly. You can see one is visible and the other is on the other face, so that they are mirrored. Guess what I didn't do the first time I cut them? Yeah. So generally when you're working on a table saw, you make repeated cuts. That is, you make the same cut multiple times. So I cut the first dado like this, and then took the second piece and made the exact same cut. Now, what do I end up with in that scenario? I end up with two pieces that are identical, not mirrored. Now, what's the solution? The solution's relatively easy. You take your pieces and you mirror them on your table saw. Now, this obviously works better if you have either a larger table saw or smaller pieces, but you can always set your pieces to the side, like so. Like so, and then simply slide them over and run them through your dado stack. That gets you the cuts that you're expecting, and your dados will line up. It's a lot better system than trying to remember, which is what I did, and it didn't work terribly well. So that's the first tip. So the next piece that I want to talk about is buying plans. Because that's what I did. I bought a plan. I bought a plan for what I wanted to build. Because one, I didn't really have a clear vision of what I wanted to make. And two, there are a number of YouTubers, in this case, the wonderfully talented John Malecki, who I wanted to support. And I wanted to support him by buying the plans he sells. And the plans that he sells are really detailed. You get a full cut list, you get dimensions, you get fastener suggestions, you get face frame suggestions. It's an awesome plan. All of his plans are really good. I hope one day to be half as cool as Mr. Malecki. But the problem that I had is that I thought I understood the plan. I didn't take the time to really understand the plan to where when I went and built it, I had the correct result. And because I didn't take that time, I wasted a ton of material. And I wasted that material because I was rushing. I was trying to go quickly. Because like most people that have a hobby shop, I've got about 15 minutes where I can get out here. And so I was focused on, gotta go. And I didn't take the time to really understand what I was building. And so the end result was a lot of waste, a lot of wasted time, and a lot of wasted material. And then I was forced to go digging around in my scrap bin to find replacement material that I'm not as happy with as the good quality plywood that I was going to use. So the second tip, understand your plan. And if it seems like it's not going well, stop. Don't try and push through. Really wish I'd taken my own advice on that one. And the third thing that I want to touch on is countersinking your screws. Now, everybody knows that countersunk screws look good. And for those of you that don't know what a countersunk screw looks like, you have a nice little hole and your screw nests into that hole. Now, here's the problem. I'm screwing into a dado. So if I have 3/4 inch ply, which of course due to shrinkflation is not actually 3/4 inch, and I've cut a 1/4 inch dado in it, and then I've countersunk into it, there's not a lot of material left. And this can really burn you if you've got 2 dados, one on top of each other. For example, at this segment here, you can see I've got a dado on the top and a dado on the bottom, which means the amount of material in between those 2 dados is about a 1/4 inch. Now that's not a lot of space, which once you get everything assembled, totally fine, no problems. But while you're moving parts around your shop and working through the assembly process, it's very easy to break that 1/4 inch of plywood. So what do? One, don't pick up a long piece of plywood by the ends. It'll break in half. Ask me how I know. And 2, when you're doing your assembly, do your assembly on a large flat surface that already has all of your parts nearby. Clamp everything in place, glue everything in place, and then, once you're clamped and glued, countersink and screw. Don't cut your countersink holes first, because then you're just weakening your material. So cut everything to dimension, dado everything, paying attention to your mirrored pieces, and then screw and glue everything together. And if you do that, you'll have a lot better outcome. Hey friends, I know I've not been around. My apologies. Holidays, COVID, it's been a mess. I've been in a bit of a rut, but hey, I'm back, I'm making videos, and I need you to do 2 things for me. 1, go ahead and subscribe, make my day. And 2, comment down below. Tell me the things you'd like to see me build. And I'll do my best. Because remember, it's always more fun to make sawdust with friends. We'll catch you next time.